The probability of a randomly selected adult in one country being infected with a certain virus is 0.002. In tests for the virus, blood samples from 31 people are combined. What is the probability that the combined sample tests positive for the virus? Is it unlikely for such a combined sample to test positive? And note that the combined sample tests positive if at least one person has the virus. So let's first take a look at the probability. We can see that P is equal to 0.002. We know that the number of trials is equal to 31, so N is equal to 31. And then down here it says the combined sample tests positive if at least one person has the virus. So recall that at least one is the same thing as X being greater than or equal to 1. So to determine the correct answer, we need to first write the probability that the combined sample tests positive for the virus as a mathematical expression. So we define a success as a randomly selected person tests positive for the virus. So the expression for the desired probability is the following. Okay, we're going to find, before we do this, we got to make sure that we select stat, highlight calculators, and then select binomial. We know that N is equal to 31 and P is equal to 0.002. And again, note that the combined sample tests positive if at least one person has the virus. So that means the probability of one or more, which is equal to the probability of at least one, which is equal to the probability of X being greater than or equal to 1. So we're going to go ahead and open this up in a StatCrunch. So open this up in a StatCrunch. We're going to go to Stat, select Calculators, and then select Binomial. Okay, we know that N is equal to 31, and we know that the probability is 0.002, and we know it's got to be at least, which is greater than or equal to the value of 1. And then we're going to select Compute. And therefore, we can get the probability there. Okay, so now that we have this probability, we can see that value. And so, therefore, if we round that to 3 decimal places, the probability that the combined sample will test positive is 0.060. Now, to determine if it is unlikely for such a combined sample to test positive, recall that an event is unlikely if its probability is very small, such as 0.05 or less. Now, if we compare the probability that we found, which is 0.060, it's greater than 0.05. So therefore, we would say it is not unlikely for such a combined sample to test positive, because the probability that the combined sample will test positive is greater than 0.05.